The Deputy Speaker from the 54, these are some of the things, if all we wish to have, then done. However, he could not have accomplished all of those things because of probably two different views and two different ideologies from leadership at the time. When he became Speaker, he appointed committees and instructed the committee through the plenary. About 3 to 4 months ago, the plenary of the House of Representatives took a decision to instruct the Rules, Order, and Administration as per our rules. 57.2 clearly states that all HOR personnel-related matters should be channeled through the Rules, Order, and Administration to plenary, and then decision thereof will be binding on the House of Representatives. When we took over, we assessed the personnel record as our responsibility at this body. At now, there were no record form to suggest to us that those at Central Administration were civil service. It was just a mere conversation and a understood, probably gentleman agreement, I may term it, because there's anything to be a civil servant has to be documented. However, since January 2024, the Director of Civil Service continued to pay on these payroll, even though it had the huge discrepancies with their people on the payroll, with all of these different disparities in salaries. We took the responsibility. Plenary decided that we should bring an independent firm to audit the personnel listing of the HOR, which APEC, register, duty register, institution were hired. This is a report which I will share with you. They conducted a verifying report for the HOR to inform us as it relates to our decision. Now, somebody may want to ask why he did not call the CSA. As per law and procedure, there was no record that suggests that the people at the Central Administration were civil servants at the Central Administration. They were just being hired by political supporters or maybe leaders who came here, and they took those people and asked them, you can employ this person, you can employ that person. That's how people were hired. So for us to even have gone to civil service to say, come and apply the law, because if you are not hired by the procedure, we cannot use the procedure to protect you. I think those are some of our decisions. After we went through the report, the recommendation of the report were taken to the plenary, and plenary unanimously voted with a decision that go and reduce the overcrowdedness of the payroll at the Central Administration and bring about standardization of salary structure. There is no reason why somebody who got 2 master's degree and have the same task, the same qualification, and even some people who got less qualification will be making more than the man who has 2 master's degree. We think it was disingenuous and it was not the proper thing to do. So we were able to stabilize the salary structure, or even the sweeper. If you are sweeper A and you are only cleaning bathroom, you are making $150. There is no reason for a sweeper B to be making $300. We think it was wrong. So we were able to stabilize the salary of everyone at the Central Administration. Maybe the director of CSA went in the public to insinuate that 2 different payrolls were submitted by the Honorable House of Representatives. As law-abiding people and lawmakers, we have never done such a thing. Now, this is the payroll we made from the 54th. It has the huge discrepancies and will be shared with the press. This payroll, the total cost of this payroll, personnel cost per month, $285,000 United States per month. After we were able to scrutinize this payroll and remove the ghost names and those people who are out of the country that were benefiting from this payroll, we decided to now tell the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Finance and the CSA disregard this payroll. Official communication were written to the CSA. Henceforth, we have done our internal workings. You are allowed to come and assume jurisdiction by law over the Central Administration. Now we submitted the 2024 payroll as of July to the government of Liberia. This payroll carried $327,000 United States per month. If you do your math, if you took the 285 and some cents from this, we'll have something little over 42,000 United States dollars. That is the excess. When we were doing the appropriation, being cognizant of this exercise, 800,000 United States dollars were appropriated under the caption other compensation to be able to service our new payroll. Even though the Liberian Senate had 2.5 million on other compensation, the Speaker of the Republic of Liberia was very, very magnanimous to say we will have to be concise to ensure that we do not incur extra burden on our budget, and we're able to do that. So from the 42,000, so if you ran that by 7 months, it will be $301,000 for this 7 months remaining in the 2024 budget year. It is on this basis that the CSA decided to allocate to himself an authority to deprive over 749 Liberians that he said those people were never going to take pay for July 26, and he deprived them of their salary. This is the payroll. And this gentleman was written. Several conversations were being held. You know the communication he wrote that in your hands, we'll go to that, because for me, I don't want to dignify because they were very disrespectful. Can you imagine? And I will want to send this caveat to the space of our governance process. That anybody within the country, including the President of the Republic of Liberia, private conversation with Josiah Joeakai, he has to be very careful, and this warrants his immediate dismissal. As a very senior level government official in the first branch of government, I sent him a text based on the conversations that were held with leaders among us at the lower house. This text says, I am advising you not to stage any fight with the legislature, as it has been perceived by colleagues. And I also went forward, the second part of this was, you will be written after the leadership meeting today to the PA on Monday to show cause why you shouldn't be held in contempt. Because we felt in our mind we should be in a very good coordinating spirit with the executive to work with them. We're not just going to be, maybe some of the things they want to permeate in the public toward the president is, these guys are opposition, they want to undermine your government. We want to categorically state here, the Funanti-led government, leadership at the House of Representatives, were unequivocally clear that we are going to work with Josiah Joeakai, the President of the Republic of Liberia. This leadership has no intent now and forever to undermine the democracy and the peace of our country. We're not going to do that. We will be a very firm and logical opposition. If something needs to be done, we'll use the diplomatic means to engage the executive. We're not going to stay in a fight with the executive or any of the branches of government. He went and misinformed the president. He was sent for in leadership, and the leadership had a very fine conversation. And then the Solicitor General of the Republic of Liberia and Councillor Bobby Allison, all of them were in that meeting yesterday, and he consented with all of the leaders that he was going to go ahead and pay it. And after that payment, he was also going to come and do the haircut, which we welcome. I want to categorically reject. At no point in time we have refused for Josiah Joeakai to come here and do haircuts. And he's a legend in the public. It's far from the truth. It's malicious. It's erroneous and baseless. Had no iota of truth, and it is only intended to undermine the high-earned character of the leadership of J. Funanti Kofa. As it stands, he decided to do a power play. We want to send a message to him that you do not have the capability to fight the House of Representatives. If you intend, we'll remind you about our constitutional authority to declare vote of no confidence in you at any point in time. We encourage the President, His Excellency Josiah Joeakai, that we are free to work with you and will continue to work with you. We will not do anything under the Funanti Kofa leadership to undermine the leadership of the President of the Republic of Liberia. I thought to make the emphatically clear that Josiah Joeakai, after sending him text message without my authorization, he decided to pen down the conversation that were held in private on a document to public, and you were very insultive. You have a copy of the letters. So I'm warning all other agencies of government to be very careful with him. In fact, We are determined if we continue this posture, he will be declared a persona non grata of the Republic of Liberia and not government material anymore. And we will take a posture to tell the president that we cannot work with him until you remove Josiah Joeakai from the civil service. This is not the first time. You know the history with the labor minister. He even did it with EPS people. So, I mean, something is happening. I will pause and maybe take a few questions, and the message is clear. An attempt by him to continue on the trajectory not to pay our people, there will be no recash. We are going to stand that. And we want to send this message to the president. In as much as I want to support you, you have to inform your directors and ministers at the executive to respect the first branch of government. If they want to stage war, we are not prepared to fight war. We are prepared to lead the Liberian people in a peaceful manner. Thank you, members of the press.
Thank you. You listen to the Honorable Man. The Director will recognize you. We'll take a few questions, but the Director will recognize you before you ask your question.
Yes, so exactly as you heard the chairman speaking, we'll take question in that direction. So let's take Prime FM first.
So, Honorable Cole, my name is Prince. I report for Prime FM and focus on Liberia Online TV. So my question is coming from this statement from the CSA boss. You referenced some of them. The first one I'd like to know is what you talk about the payroll that you received from the 5th of 4th. He also mentioned that I'd like to read as it is written here. It reads as can 2 here. It says the Minister of Finance and Development Planning identified 2 payrolls for the House of Representatives, Central Administration. The original payroll has a monthly dollar value of US $284,041.50, while the new payroll submitted to the CSA to alter the original one for approved amount to US $327,643 monthly. There is a monthly variance of US $43,241.50. That's the first one you said. The one you saw, it was huge, and you reduced it to harmonize salaries. I didn't even get it correct. The second point is he also says, therefore, that is on page 2. Therefore, recruiting individuals to become civil servants within the central administration of the House of Representatives, without the involvement of the CSA, specifically the approval of the CSA Director General, directly contravenes the standing orders of the civil service and the human resource policy manual. He quoted for the CSA standing order. He quoted chapter 5.2, chapter 5, section 2.3. And the personnel manual quoted chapter 4, section 21. Now, the question is, you said that those in central administration has never been hired by the CSA, and that you saw and decided to work on that. So how then can we reconcile what the CSA boss is saying, he is read out, and what the House has identified?
But you are aware of the Constitution. The Constitution of the Republic of Liberia provides that this House has the authority to make rules to govern itself. And what the Constitution gave me as an authority, no other law can contravene that. If you have any other law to contravene my constitutional authority, it means that that law or that standing order is null and void. That's the first thing I want to establish. To have gone to the CSA to say to come and do the scrutinization of our central payroll or our discrepancies, I felt that it was not in the purview of the central administration, because our rules are clear that all personnel issues of the central administration of the House of Representatives, our rules did not say the CSA. Our rule says go to the Rules, Order, and Administration, and then to plenary. Decision from plenary will be binding on the House of Representatives. Now, let me say this to you. Maybe this is the misinformation. We do not, the House of Representatives do not have 2 payrolls. We met a payroll of 776 with huge disparities. One accountant on this payroll is making 1,800 with a qualification of a BSc holder. Another accountant on his payroll that has 2 master's degree is making $356. See the huge disparities. One expediter on his payroll is making over 700 to 800 US dollars, while another expediter with the same assignment, the same job description, is making $150. The Funati Kofale administration says it was wrong. All Liberians should be treated equally before the law. So we decided to harmonize or to standardize this payroll. When we standardize this payroll, because of the standardization and those who are being underpaid, according to the belief and the thoughts of the speaker, we decided to raise these people money to a considerable amount at least. If somebody is sweeping and coming here, should not make less than $300 under J. Funati Kofa's administration, thereby taking our payroll for $285,000 by Monday to $327,000. So we wrote the finance ministry, disregard this payroll. It's not the approved payroll of the House of Representatives. The approved payroll of the House of Representatives is the payroll that the Speaker of the Republic of Liberia signed onto. But this director is saying he would disregard the signature of the Speaker of the First Branch of Government, and because he has a standing order that he should have come to do something that he's not doing. In fact, in the meeting he's on record that he would prefer, even if people in America or people are there, he will pay on the old payroll until he does what he wants to do. And that's where we objected to. You will go by what we say because there's no law that gives you authority to come and dictate to us how to run our budget. Our budget is per law, and it is our discretion to use our budget. It is not at the discretion of anybody in this republic.
Thank you, Chairman. We'll take Iran News.
Instead of Honorable Court, good morning. My name is Ronald Josh, and I work for Hot 107.9 in Iran News. In this document that is before us, the CSA is saying that twice, as part of the civil service reform that is going on, they have written you for a haircut, but you refuse. But now you are saying that you are accepted for this haircut. Now, why do you think the CSA will want to make these kind of allegations against you?
Because the CSA boss, from all his actions in the public, you can see, he's been political. No serious-minded director general of any institution will come and hold a meeting or a conference with the leadership of the First Branch of Government, and then from right there, you run straight to the press. That was highly disrespectful. We cannot run this government in the press. It is not going to be healthy for anybody. If we think to grandstand, we want to grandstand and hold on to our powers, there will be so many things in this country. Why do you think we are playing leadership with so many things? We don't want to point out some of the things in the executive and some of the missteps. A loan was borrowed by LPRC without coming to the legislature for enactment or approval. Conversations were held. And then we understood the rationale of the action of the MD. And then we thought he acted in good faith. And we must work with him not to politicize it. Now, the very first time the CSA boss sent a circular and we had an opportunity to get a copy of that circular, he was invited. We want to state this. At no point in time we have ever rejected hair counts. It cannot be the speaker who is wanting to ensure transparency at the level of the central administration and the governance of this house who want to refuse hair counts of legitimate civil servants. Now you have come and see all of these people, but you said you cannot pay the people who are available. You would rather pay the people who we told you that some of them are out of the country, some of them are there, but you want to honor this payroll. So he's been political. And if you want to tread the path of politics, we'll inform the president. If this gentleman stays a fight, we will stay some that it will be unimaginable. And we have that at our disposal. We want to send a clear message to him and attempt by him to tread this path. A vote of no confidence will be passed by this body. I can assure him that this is a decision that we have reached.
We'll take Truth FM 96.1.
All right, so my name is Hensi Dega, and I do report for Truth FM. I'm a bit confused. Considering the document in my possession, the CSA boss is acting on the CSA standing order. And what you earlier on stated, you said the CSA doesn't have authority over the legislature to put into the police affairs of the legislature. Again, you are also telling us that the issue of headcount lies in the purview of the CSA, per what you just stated. And the CSA boss is also arguing that on the standing order, if, for instance, there is a vacancy, there should be an announcement in the public, and it is within the purview of the CSA to ensure that such vacancy is there. So I'm like confused.
You know, many times I said when you are in a classroom and the teacher is instructing, it's proper to listen. At no point in time did I say so. Let me reiterate. I said to you, when we took over, we decided to assess the human resource department. Whether these people were hired by the CSA procedure, excuse me, we were going to abide by the law. We are not lawless people. We're not going to invade the law. But from all our assessment, nothing suggests that the CSA were hiring the personnel of the House of Representatives. If those individuals were not hired by the CSA jurisdiction over them, they were hired by politicians. And this is why this speaker, who is a law-abiding speaker, is saying, no, you know why? We have to take into consideration all that we met here. With those are Liberians, we're not going to chunk them away, but we have to do our due diligence and write the CSA to come and play the role to assume jurisdiction over there if they are civil servants to go forward. Henceforth, Mr. Director, you can come and take over the House of Representatives. Now, let me tell you, you were never hired by the CSA's procedure. But now you come out and say, no, as civil servant. What is the document that says you are civil servant? So the CSA boss are challenging as of now. Let he give me any document from 1980 of any employee here that would suggest that person was hired by the CSA and I will resign from this position. You cannot, listen, you cannot assume jurisdiction by imagination or perception. You assume jurisdiction over anything. Now, it's like when you are saying that this land belongs to me. You cannot own that land by maybe somebody telling you the land or your grandfather's land, so come and take it. You own that land by title. If you do not have title over that land, it is not yours. So for the CSA to think they will come and assume jurisdiction over the House of Representatives, central administration without any procedure, the people there were never hired by the procedure. That's why we set up the standard. And let me tell you that what I said, the CSA's boss action was very political and stayed political. The last conversation we had was, so, Honorable, thank you. You were very magnanimous and you were the first person to even welcome us in the House of Representatives. I am now going to mandate my people to send the pen to you, to your HOR. Let the people who are here now begin to fill in the pen. If we were objecting, why did we accept the pen from the CSA? Because we have done our due diligence per the report from APEC. We are now informed. We weed out the people who should not be on this payroll. The people who are legitimate people will be decided to issue the civil servant pen to them to begin to fill in. So that clearly suggests that we were abiding by the law. So we're not telling the CSA, don't come here, don't do this, no. But the law of this building says employment is under the jurisdiction of the Rules, Order, and Administration. To plenary, decision from plenary will be binding. It is not talking about civil service. What we are saying, if those people are the central administration, it is our responsibility to say, we give you the authority to assume jurisdiction over them by our authority. That is what we are saying.
Very clear. Let's take Urbana FM.
So, my name is Winston Blading. I have spoken to one or two individuals, and the CSA boss, following a meeting yesterday, eardrop conversation. He believes that members of the Honorable House of Representatives are trying to enroll your personal staff that when you are out of the place tomorrow, they remain, which you have vowed to stand against. Can I speak to this? And you're talking about it being political. Do you think one of the fight against the leadership want to speak up?
Anybody who think about station fight against Fanatic over, you are a joker, because we had a lot of group of intelligent people. We are around him, and we're also protecting intellectually and politically. So anybody who believes that you can come and remove Fanatic over, that's a long battle, and nobody wants to get involved. It means that there will be so many adverse consequences. The second thing I want to say, I don't want to be referring to ear-drop conversation. Now, if anyone got anything under their sleeves that they want to come talk about, Josiah Joeakai can continue to tread on the path. In our meeting, and I will state here, you don't want to. If you listen to the text message I'm saying, and that's why I will continue to tell members of the executive to be very careful with conversation you hold with Josiah Joeakai. Because to send you text message that was very peaceful, not being disrespectful. I saw him as a friend, but he's not a friend. To have advised him that do not stay strike with the legislature, and for him to publish that text message, it means that he's not a reliable guy. End the conversation, and the president need to be careful. This is why I want to advise President Josiah Joeakai. People who got their personal political agenda within your agenda, they will destroy your administration, they will stage unnecessary fight. These are the kind of agents within Joseph Joeakai government that will go to the president and misinform the president and try to pin us, who are friendly political opposition, as enemy to the president. We are not enemy to Josiah Joeakai. We are not enemy to the Republic of Liberia. We are enemy to the evils, and they are continuing to eat the fabrics of this country, not the president. And will support the president's agenda. One is in the interest of the Liberian people.
We take two more. We'll take Who FM and then Bokari Musa. Close.
Honorable, my name is William Howard. I work for Full 91.5 FM.
You have to be audible.
I would like you to quickly tell us the processes leading to how one is being enrolled on the HOR payroll, and furthermore, at what point in time do the CSA has jurisdiction or comes in?
Because we did not have process here, the speaker, being the speaker and a man of law, he read the rules of this building. So the first thing here is to hire anybody in this place per our rules. As it stands, you must be able to apply, and when that application go to the HR, that HR sends it to the Rules, Order, and Administration, and then the Rules, Order, and Administration, the representative of plenary, in the absence of section, is the speaker. Go to the speaker for advisement, and the speaker instructs the Rules, Order, and Administration, and the Rules, Order, and Administration writes a directive to the HR to do the appointment of that individual. That is the procedure. Now, what we were trying to stop is for politicians to continue to have jurisdiction over the people that are hired here and the people that are dismissed. Either you hire them and you dismiss them at will. The speaker said no. I will encourage the civil service to come and take over the central administration. That henceforth, not because there was no law put in place that we cannot put the law in place. So it is the law that we try to put in place Josiah Joeakai wants to take advantage of. Because you cannot apply the rules of the game in the middle of the game. What I'm saying, Josiah Joeakai, you do not have any record that you can bring or you can prove based on the assessment that you yourself have that the central administration, one person can bring an appointment letter from the HR from 1978. Can you imagine Josiah Joeakai is saying he wants to pay on a payroll that some of the people on the payroll, they've been in this building for 52 years, even to contradict the very law that he's trying to protect. Now we are telling the woman or the man been working here for 52 years when we're not even born. But Josiah Joeakai is inclined to pay that person. You cannot be talking about equity, then you bring in ambiguity in the equitability or the discharge of the function. So that's why we are saying he's political.
Thank you. We'll take the final question, Bokari Musa, then the chairman will close.
Honorable Chairman, I'm concerned about rumors that circulate on our payroll saga. It has to do with people saying in public that, in fact, most of the people you brought in are CDC people. The new people that you brought.
Man, you know, this is laughable. It is elementary. These kind of conversations can only come from people who were born in the 1930s. Not the kind of central, the first century that we have. Read Article 18. Article 18 of our Constitution is clear that all persons within the border of Liberia who are Liberians should have equal opportunity. Whether you come from CDC, you come from whatever party. No. To no disrespect to the person who has served for over 30 or 40 years. To no disrespect. Let me just say this. The controller that we had in this building, It's a hardcore sedition. And that controller was being retired. Is that a unity partisan? The law is blind when it comes to fanatic kufa. The law will take a course no matter who gets involved. That's why the CSA should be applauding the Counselor at Law J. Fanatic Kufa administration. That if you can begin to even retire sedition at the House of Representatives, then we know that you are going somewhere. Your reform is a process. One thing I want to tell the CSA's boss, reform is a process. It's not automatic. To have been disingenuous to not pay Liberians on 26 when they should have been celebrating your very administration. You thought to undermine Josiah Joeakai by not paying over 700 employees. If the speaker were not magnanimous or provided them little things to take home, this place was going to be chaotic. People were going to be demonstrating all over to make the government look ugly. The president got to watch Josiah Joeakai. He has a personal agenda in his government to undermine. This is not the first time. It's not only with the legislature. If you have one arrogant young man who passes around and thinks that he's demand God to himself, he want to stage fight with the legislature when the president even talking about recast. Now we're going to grandstand that no recast will even appear on our agenda until you remove Josiah Joeakai. Then where we're going? And we don't want that. President Joeakai, from the speaker to the leadership, I want to use this medium to reassure you our commitment to working with you at all levels to bring stability and peace in our country. At no point in time, any members of this government, or even from the House of Representatives, that will come to you Nicodemusly in the night to tell you Fanatic Kufa wants to undermine you, that person is only good for you to go for some traditional people in local country to say as a who to eliminate that person.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for following us. My name is Prince. We've been here with Josiah Marvin Cole. Honorable Marvin Cole is a chairman on the House's Committee on Rules for Administration. Bye-bye.